Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary pals, and everybody else, welcome to another season of the Welsh Esports League. I'm McCready. Joining me today is YMB. YMB, today we are kicking things off with a pretty exciting game to start things off with, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, quite exciting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, especially since obviously I've got history of the Dragons. So, no bias here, obviously. None of that happening, but no. Tribal, a little bit of a disappointing season last season, but I'm really excited to see how they'll come back, see what they can do, and Dragons with a fairly new look roster, seeing what they can do as well.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is kind of seeing the development that people take throughout a season. They take that off season. How do they work? What do they do to improve? You know, like I think we were saying beforehand, you know, after every game you watch the VOD, you watch what's happened, what mistakes you've made. If you're really paying attention, there's got to be improvements. You've got to be working on things like that. The question is, for a team like Tribal, well, they didn't really do that well when it came to the last season, so how are they going to improve on it? How are they going to build upon that? And today, starting things off for, I believe, everything aside from chess in the Welsh Esports League Season 10, we are going to be going to Rainbow Six Siege. It's going to be two best of ones that we see today. Our first game, like you say, is SEA Dragons going up against Tribal Esports, followed by the Goats and Pit Ponies going up against each other. I know that's a game you're quite excited for, YMB, isn't it?
I'm very, very excited for. I know a lot of people on those teams. Obviously, faced Pit Ponies multiple times. Fantastic team. Honestly, they won last season in such a dominant fashion. You really get a sense that they're coming into the season looking to complete that back-to-back. And the Goats, season before that, they won season 8. They came in season 9 expecting the same thing, got fought in the semi-finals. So I'm excited to see what they can do, but I think we should focus on this game right now because this is going to look to be a very, very exciting game.
Yep, and exactly what we're going to start off with is the map. So we're going to be heading to Chalet. I think, like we said, it's kind of it's the new Oregon, especially at the start of the season. Teams will go here because they know what they want. They know they don't really want to go too out far. Because a team like SEA Dragons, they're coming in. They're the favourites for this game so far, but they are not going to want to give away too much. They don't want to say risk things with a lair or a fortress. They just want to go to what they know. Go to Chalet. Starting things off, they will be going on to the operator ban. So we're going to see Ace and Mute both taken away. The Ace, pretty big ban, I think. It has to be that go-to ban, really, especially when you don't necessarily know the team that much, because it just stops that. If that Mute is left on the board, then the Ace can still open things up, but they have to have that electrification to stop it. Speaking of, Cade will be taken away, followed by the Thermite. Very much Tribal Esports just targeting that hard breach there. And SEA Dragons going for the other side. They want to get rid of that util.
I mean, yeah, it's very, very standard for, you know, a Chalet. Banning the breaches, don't want anything opened, pretty normal. The only thing I would say about that, you're giving up a lot of space to these shields if they were to be used. Shields on Chalet can become very potent very quick. And on the side of Tribal, playing to really just extrapolate that denial. You don't want to be facing that breach denial, that information denial. Again, pretty standard, nothing out of the ordinary. However, that operator lineup for Tribal is looking a little bit spicy.
Exactly. So as we start to go into it, we'll see our first round. Let's see what that lineup is in case you missed it. Going on to a map like Chalet, I feel like it's one where it's very momentum-based from the get-go. If you have a team that can get that initiative early on, for example, Tribal, you can see they've got the Glass, Capital, Ying. This is a fast push. This is to isolate these roamers. This is to get that execute in fast, hard, and get the plant down. If they can really make the most of that, they can hopefully put SEA Dragons on the back foot. On the attack side for Chalet, which is one of the maps which tend to be a bit more balanced in terms of which sided map it is, but still quite confidently in the defender side of the map. Tribal can really start to get the momentum and start to use the swing, because this is the site SEO Dragons expect to win. On the flip side, though, their operators, they're bringing that Banshee, they're bringing that Aruni, and they're bringing that Goyo. These three operators, they scream out to me, they're SEA Dragons, they're targeting exactly that from Tribal. They want to slow them down, get them in the choke points, and take those players off the board. Starting things off, as we do start our round, it looks like we've got a pretty spread start. Maybe a little bit of presence over towards that library side. But looks like Tribal, they're just going to do their due diligence, get a little bit of droning in first, and then go for that library take.
I mean, the biggest... Oh! immediately from Billy Ray. Absolutely fantastic from him. Standard, and again, Rex. 30 seconds, 2 picks down already for Tribal. That rush, you've just lost your 2 biggest key pieces in the Ying, in the Grim. Some really early aggression out for SCA Dragons. You can feel the confidence, exuberating from them. However, a little bit of overconfidence though. Billy Ray taken down by the Twitch as you go into a 4v3.
But you got to look at this in this situation from SCA Dragons. They've got 2 players off the board already. They've only lost one of their own. Billy Ray already got their pick. Their headquarters done. Berserk here trying to even the score. Will be able to find Vex, and in doing so will take control of that library side. But time is not in favor of the attackers. They need to re-coordinate. They need to get back together. But Slavebun's going to find low, and suddenly things have turned around. Maybe the speed wasn't all that the Tribal Esports needed. But now going up against that Vector over towards that piano hallway, the swing comes out, the peak follows, and Rex takes down Berserk, and SCA Dragons have brought us down to a 2 versus 2. Slayerbun does get that other Dokkaebi scan in the pocket and will pop it. That's both gone at the halfway point in this round, and that's because they just don't have the operators to play with. And now split apart. They're going to go for the split push, isolate these defenders. Is it going to work? Well, that Dokkaebi scan's just gone off. Now, Slayer knows that player's over there. They know that player's in CEO with that Vector. But they're not really going to make anything for it. It's a bit of utility I feel is just wasted there.
It is a little bit wasted, although I think, the Twitch will be very happy about roam clear below. They can now confirm, take their time, drone out. Where are these last 2 players? What can we do? You're split up, so you're going to be taking one-on-one gunfights. You need to rely on your mechanics here. For Dragons, need to cut. It's a fantastic pick from Zord. Exactly what they needed, and with pressure from the Thorn Trap, Rex will finish it off. A very hectic first round here. Very messy from both teams, but in the end, the Dragons were able to capitalize.
I think the Dragons, they could afford to be a little bit messy there. They got those first 2 opening picks, and then, yeah, they go for the third. Why not? They're feeling it. That's when they met that Twitch FT. That's when that kind of shut it down a bit. But I will give Tribal credit. When things went wrong, they did kind of just slow things down and realize that they need to just take a bit of time to take advantage of the fact this team is feeling confident. In fact, they even were able to get that player advantage. When they take down that Valkyrie, that takes that C4 off the board, but it does put another player on the cams. The problem for me there, YB, was in the end of that round, they let the Dragons just play their own game. The Dokkaebi scan didn't get much impact from it. They didn't push in a coordinated manner. There was the Dokkaebi pushing towards Piano, and then the Twitch over towards Solar. If they coordinated, they still might not have won, but they would have been in a better position because the Dragons, they could play around it. They were given a lot to work with there. Tribal, that still wasn't bad, but I feel like maybe going for that rush setup. Let's focus on getting some of these players in the building first, and then we can start thinking about speeding things up. We're going to be heading to Bar Gaming now as the second site we're finding ourselves, which a lot of teams do like this a lot more than Basement, don't they?
Yeah, Bar has really become the go-to site, really. It was a little bit of a shock to see him go top 4 first. Usually the rotation wouldn't even include top floor. So now we're getting more back onto a standard rotation. I do expect him to take Basement next. However, I think Tribal, the biggest thing they need to do in this round, slow it down. Slow it right down, okay? You're rushing out your spawn. You're not droning. You have no info on if these peaks are coming at you. Slow it down. Take your time. Shaq, right there, there's Army. It looks like he's going for a peak on a double door as well. Back up immediately. But again, it's this lack of info in the early round that is really going to hammer home whether or not Tribal can get these early rounds.
And with Shaq being able to find that kill, like you said, picking that player over towards the main lobby, that is going to be the case. The Glass taking down that main kind of operator to really just isolate, cut the map in half is just taken away again. And now we see Tribal Esports, they go to the roof, they realize now we have to do this the hard way, we don't really have a choice. Get these castle barricades taken away, get that vertical control, and then maybe look at that push. But now the droning needs to come through. And again, this is going to cost time, and that's something they just don't have buckets full of. As one of Renegade does get burnt, that's a bit of utility spent just to get that line of sight. Shaq will be able to find Cheesy, though. And the sharp execute from that line just isn't going to be found. It's going to be down to the rest of these attackers. A 3 versus 5, and Dragons not really feeling any pressure.
exact same position as we were last round, though, and we saw how that mid-round played out. Cheeky little run out from somewhere, not exactly sure where, but again, Tribal now, you have to be searching for this pick back.
Exactly.
From the looks of it, they're kind of just hanging back. Dragons are going to be able just to have, whatever map control they want. They're all still outside the building. And that's another. I don't think there's been a single kill in this round that has been from inside the building, and we're already in a 5v2.
No, and now we'll use the ability to try and get those lines of sight. Now the frag grenades are being used to open things up. They're still getting the pressure from Bathroom. This isn't the situation they want to find themselves in. While yes, you could win that gunfight, Slayer, it's a 2v5. You're better off just working together to get into this. It's going to get taken down. It's all down to Naui, all by themselves with the sledge, with the L85. It definitely could be done. But with time, 49 seconds in favour. They don't have the vert control, and they don't even have the case. This isn't looking good. No frag grenades, no drones to burn out this utility. They're just going to be looking for a couple of exit frags, I feel, here. Looks towards the player over towards Mez, spots him, but not just in time. Billy Ray able to find another pick. And the first kill, actually, that didn't come from that bathroom window.
Yeah, actually. Fantastic round for Dragon, really just have to say. They denied them from even getting into the building. I don't think a single person from Tribal that round even got into the building. But again, for Tribal, it's exactly like I said. Slow it down, get that info, see what they are doing. That spawn peek from Jack early on, should just be regular things. You should have these pre-placed drones in a position where you can say, hey, they're spawn peek in double door, or they're going to spawn peek, from bathroom window. But again, it doesn't look like they're going into these rounds with much of a plan. They're kind of just going in, seeing what happens, and reacting to whatever Dragons do.
Okay, so now that we've figured out Tribal, just kind of been sealing my rank strats a little bit. I feel like I should be credited. Looks like they're gonna be going into their next round. They're gonna be trying to find something to change the pace. So, Dragons, they're gonna be heading most likely kitchen dining. I feel I didn't actually see where they're gonna be heading. Either they go basement, which they have, or they go kitchen dining. Dragons have already won that top floor, which, like you said, for a team like that, probably wouldn't even be in their rotation anyway. They've got another 2 rounds that they know that they can enjoy. They know that they can take advantage of. Tribal Esports need to find a way to break that momentum already before it gets away from them. It's like, again, just like we've seen before, are going to be even bigger of a problem. They shut down Tribal straight away in that last round. This is a map where if a good roamer can get a good opportunity, especially when Tribal make for that verticality, try to get that roam clear, they can really just split apart that attack again. But also when it comes to the actual site, it is quite easy to bog down. You see Billy Ray over towards Boiler, that's going to be a big problem. They've got the gas pipe canister, they've got their glasses, and most importantly, they've got the shotgun to work with, as well as some Jaeger ADSs. It's going to be Shock, though, that we're looking at. Realizes a player might be nearby, tries to go for a spawn, but doesn't spot the player that's by. And as a result, that Blackbeard will get away nice and safely. And I actually think a Blackbeard, or at least some shield operator, isn't that bad of an idea for Tribal, because we've seen how susceptible they've been to the spawn peaks.
Yeah, it's a fantastic, absolutely fantastic operator pick here. You down the breaches, you have to find out another way to take this map control and take these, rooms without being able to open them up. Although, Rex, if he just bided his time, he's on. Blackbeard's going to go for it. No, it's evaded. Fantastic read from the Blackbeard, but do they know about this Ella? Is this all just a setup play for the Ella to possibly find the pick onto the Blackbeard, who is now on his drone?
That's the thing. You see Shaq here will not be droned out because that drone just went down blue. But the pretty far comes out, they have to kind of give their position away. Vex is nearby, they know this player's towards the piano. And the jump comes through, the Goyo starts to swing out. Scorpion follows, does a bit of damage, takes a bit of damage. But as Blackbeard gets down, the Impact EMP should deal with him. Shaq finding Slayerbun, looks for a second kill, but just can't find it. Doesn't need to, with Rex being taken down, though. A 4 versus 3 is where we find ourselves. And Tribal, they made it into the building, but not for long. They're going to have to try and find their way back in. Billy Ray taken down as well. Coming out of that position, down on basement, meaning that they've got that even Steven scoreline with players. And the Yin Candelas start to go through. They know the Warden's gone. That Yin just got made a lot more powerful. With a minute ticking down, the Romans start to come back to sight. Berserk, sorry, will go towards that old garage, realizing how horrible a position that is with Romans still on the board. They're going to have to just rotate. They're going to have to look at these main staircases. But when you go to the top floor, there's still an Ella above there. And that Scorpion just isn't going to budge, especially when they know that these players have to start getting that push onto site. Berserk, I believe it is. He's going to start getting gassed out. Will not be able to push that and have to go towards main lobby. This means that Ella and that Ying are going to have at least some gunfight very quickly, because that's the only way they can go. They have to go down main or go down blue with 30 seconds left. And now Vex will rotate up above as well. Wants to get a couple more kills with the Goyo. The Impeller goes off. Looks for the pick, but just can't find it. With 20 seconds ticking down, yes, they can get that hatch open. They might be able to find Vex, but they're really going to find themselves getting the win here. Ghosted will be taken down. The refrag does follow, but the C4 shuts down the round. And then the Ella's just there to clean things up. Another round for the Dragons. And Tribal yet to find themselves on the board.
Honestly, a lot more well played from Tribal than that. I think you've obviously clear they went into that round with a plan. They knew what they wanted to do. But again, it's just the reaction from Dragons. They know how they have to win this game, and that's through being aggressive, through being on these roams. You saw that perfectly with Rek and Shaq both playing off each other, and then Vex also coming up from West Main to do, to hit that flank. The Goya will be banned. Speaking of Vex, bit of a weird ban for Tribal. Feel like Goya hasn't been that effective, but again, they must have a reason. But again, I think Tribal, they're getting into this game now.
Yeah, exactly. They're starting to find themselves, find their feet, and get that little bit of coordination going. Again, looking towards that Goyle, I think just on paper, it doesn't really make as much sense as you'd expect. But I can see the mentality of the Goyo canisters have really been a problem in terms of what Tribal's big problem has been, and that's been the time. They've really not made much for the time that they have to spend. They've not got much payoff for it. And those Goyas, when they do come to those late round scenarios of 20 seconds, 30 seconds left, those Goyas are round ending. I think they've identified that timekeeping is a little bit of a problem, and they've decided just to get rid of one of the big pains at the backside for that. So that's where, playing devil's advocate, I could see where that Goyo ban comes from. But now 3 rounds, they're going to try and get back into this. Like you say, they're getting back into this game, and they're starting to find their feet. Are they going to be able to make it happen on this top 4 site? Remember, we saw 2 picks coming out very early before players found their way into the building. They've got the Monty this, they haven't brought that Blackbeard, but they brought the Monty, which is so much more powerful when it comes to kind of area control, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Monty is very suffocating, especially if you're doing a library side over push. He can be extremely suffocating, take that space very quickly, and that's the thing Tribal needs to do. You mentioned time. It's a big aspect, especially on maps like Chalet, where you're going to spend a lot of time clearing a lot of corners and a lot of angles. So, bring that Monty, bring the Young, bring the Grim, bring this clearing and suffocating util, and you'll be fine. You can take this, you can take these spaces with a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently. However, is Jackal, is he privy to this spawn peak? It seems like he might be. He's taking it a lot slowly.
Oh, no.
No, he's not. No, again. That's, 4 rounds now. We've had at least 1 spawn peak. At least 1 spawn peak kill. And again, that's 4 rounds in a row where Tribal have lost that entry. And yes, it's not really going to be that big of a pick. The Jackal, not really that useful here, especially since they're not playing a heavy roam. But again, you never want to go down early. Ever.
It's the gun taken off the board as well. Because now Tribal Esports are going in on a 4 versus 2 situation. The Yin Candelas are following, but Dragons, they have a lot more confidence. They know that player's down. They know that they have that advantage. And while the push will come through, trying to clear out the utility, Shaq or the K9 window is going to take down Nowie.
Where's the cover?
What's Cheesy holding? Vex takes down the Monty, the swing! Oh, the round just went from bad to worse there. They lost that opening pick, and everyone just kind of got taken away. And I feel like Dragons, they're just feeling a little too confident. They're feeling a little too prepared. A little consolidation frag will come through, but it really isn't going to have any impact, because right now you can see the rest of them play. They're able to find the solace as well. And something, this becomes a lot more winnable situation anyway. Regardless, half the round is gone, and at least there's 2 picks gone in favour of the attackers so far. We won't talk about how many players they've lost just yet, when we're trying to look at this in a little bit more optimistic way. Options are kind of limited in where they go, because the K9 door, that is one that the attackers are going to be focusing on very, very heavily. If they go in that main lobby, they expose themselves towards that 45 angle, that bar. They expose themselves to mezzanine. They're really going to struggle to get in and really make this work. They don't even know about the player on Mez, which they do now. But either it's that, or they have to rush up West Main and go towards Solar, and I just don't see them having the time to make that happen. Vex is going to be able to close it down and get another round on the board for the side of the Dragons.
Yeah. I mean, what else can you really say? Dragons are just absolutely flowing right now. There is not a single falter in their step. Yeah, they may be giving away a couple of careless frags. They're in a position where they can do that. They can afford just to go and mess about, do what they want. You know, you're in a 5v1. You know, what else are you going to do? Yeah, you can say, okay, let's have discipline. Let's, you know, let's just chill. Let's fall back. You can do that when you're in a 3v1. You know, it doesn't matter at that point. Cav.
And the Scopus as well, actually.
And the Scopus. Wow. Bring the Deimos calls from Vex. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Bring the Deimos. Who knows whether they're going to actually listen?
I back that, yeah. Bring the Deimos. That might be the way to go. Just Scopus and the Cav, it just screams out that they just want to roam. They just want to take those gunfights. They have no intention of letting Tribal get anywhere near the point. And I feel like for Tribal, what I need to see is I need to see them prepared for these spawn peaks. They need to be ingraining it into their standard kind of approach. That they're checking these angles, they're checking these windows. I mean, it's the kind of thing that people just do in ranked. Like, they will just focus on making sure that they don't get pre-fired with these angles. There's common things that you need to check, and I feel like that bar games window is one of them. Probably not going to see a spawn peak from that window there, but I'd look towards bar. I'd look towards these windows. You know Dragons want to do it. You know there's somebody who's going to be trying their luck, so pay attention to it. That's the key for Tribal here.
5 seconds remaining.
Absolutely. But, again, new round. A 4-2 attacking half here isn't that bad. If anything, it's decently deep. Again, they've got 2 rounds here to make a difference if they want to set themselves up for any sort of comeback on that defensive side. Shaq, again, another run out. And is he going to fight? It's fine, another. It's 5 in a row, although this one going to go a lot different. Immediately traded out by Bezarak. 4v4. Although Bezarak is going to take some damage from the exact same window as well. That was the Legion of Vex, who's also got an impact open below. I don't think Bezarak knows. How could he know?
They do know about that being open. Yeah, they did see it, but it's that stress because you can only hold one angle at a time, which means that sledge has to rotate around. Reloading! They can't focus on anywhere near that garage side. They have to just play it safe. But the Buck's taken down. Now they have the sledge. They have the operator who struggles a lot more when it comes to that soft breach because they have to expose themselves to C4s and to roamers. They can't just repel from a window. And now Fuse is going to try and fuse out this top floor site. Pre-fire does come through. A bit of damage will follow, but nothing compared to that, which the sledge has as well. Going down below, looking for these players, trying to go for a little bit of roam clear or at least get a flank cam down just to make sure that they're covered, which is going to happen. Now they're going to start looking towards that Mez side. Vex, though, will be able to find that player and takes them down. And a 4 versus 3, the Kavira in that main lobby with support from Vex. Goes for the run out. Gets the down. Gets the interrogation. Oh, it's the beginning of the end. Tribal, like you say, they need that 4-2 split with the interrogation coming out. Rex is going for the kill. They really don't want to make that happen. Cheesy gets one. Let's take it down. Ghosted has an answer. But it's a 2 versus 1 here. The drone got taken away. Vex is finished off. Billy Ray gets taken as well. Oh, this just became a lot closer. Just some realizing they have to run around, they have to rotate, and they have to play a lot more careful. Look at the damage. A minute left on the clock. They have to do the droning. They have to do the due diligence because that case isn't down. If they are not checking the right angles, not checking the right area, then this round could just end. Like you say, that drone is nearby. He can hear the fuse moving around. The drone will spot that player at least. And the audio of the goose, you might get that position away, get off the close range weapon. of the SMG-11. Probably going a lot better, but just some doesn't know. 30 seconds left. They can pull back. 2 smokes in pockets. Just get the canisters on that door and stop that plan from going down. Because running through this main lobby, the Fuse is really going to struggle. They don't even have the case at the moment. Which means they're going to look to just take that gunfight. They don't know where the player is. They don't have the time to drone. They're just going to have to face check it. As they move in, the smoke canister follows, does the damage. Ghost is too low to take the fight. And that's going to be a 5-0 round for Dragons. I like the refrags there, but it just wasn't there soon enough, I think.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't there soon enough, but again, Tribal, getting into this game may still be 5-0 down, but at this point in the game, you should be just telling yourself, all right, we've got a couple of these rounds close. That first round, really close, should have won it. That round easily could have been winnable. You know, these, like, you know, I mean, there's been two rounds where they've been completely shut out before they can even get in the building. But again, no matter the scoreline, you just need to keep telling yourself, we are getting close on these rounds. It could easily be a 3-2 game right now. So let's just keep going. This last attack round, make it your best.
Yeah, exactly. And then they need to use that break. They get one round on the board and they say, right, we've got that attacking round. We're going on to our defense. This is what we want. I feel like it's getting away from them, though.
It is slipping away. There's no denying it. It is slipping away. But again, what can you tell yourself? You can only tell yourself one thing, and that's just to keep going, no matter what. Absolutely most important thing. Whereas Dragons, right now, most important thing for them, don't get too cocky. Don't get overconfident. Because you keep seeing it now.
Located a bomb.
And again and again. I said before, you can throw away picks, but Billy Ray, you're in a 2v1 and you're still jumping out the same window. Luckily, Zorn has the clutch factor in him and is smart enough to know exactly what he needs to do there. However, different round. This Thorn pick as well, coming out so much Dragons. Obviously, the recent Thorn buff, she's been heavily put into the meta now as one of the best trap operators to use, especially in combination with someone like maybe a Malusi. As seen in a couple of rounds, however, she'll be the sole trap operator on this as you see coming out into kitchen. So a lot more map control going to be held early on from the Dragons. It's going to be a big test now to see if Tribal can do anything here with 0 hard breaches as well. I think that's a big thing to mention. Not again. They read into it. Finally, after 5 rounds in a row, Tribal have an opening pick. They've countered the spawn peak finally. They've become privy to it. Billy trying to look for that refrag immediately. Not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Needs to fall back here. And Tribal have now put themselves in a fantastic prime position to take their first round here.
Exactly. I really like the fact that drone was coming through, and I feel like SCA Dragons, that's huge, because the way that they're playing this with Rex and towards that dining side, they are going to focus on that verticality and being a lot more tiered in their defense. Tribal Esports are going to get that breach open. No messing around from the Flores, no messing around from the Util. They will get that breach right open. They do still have Billy Ray above. They will know that these players are going to be nearby, but the air jabs are going down. The flank denial is there. They're realizing some of these operators are kind of causing some of these issues and how to deal with them. This is a much more confident start from Tribal. I like it. I want to see what they can do with it. But with a minute and a half left on the clock, vertical done and some breaching done, what's next for them? They spot the player over. They spot the player over towards that library side. They might recognize that jump is going to be coming out. But does Billy Ray hear about this air jab? I think they do. They realize there's an air jab there. They're not going to go for that, because if they do, they just sign their death warrant and give another player advantage.
The executes come in though.
It is. The Thorn gadget starting to go off. The main says push follows. Vex is able to find Nowie, but they're already pushing into that dining side. One player over towards that rotate over towards blue. And it's going to be Slayer holding down that blue side. Billy Ray will find him. Has to start getting close. Rex opens up. They do not know about Slayer. There is a player on the camera. They're going to give that info, but Rex isn't even going to get the kill just yet. Slayer Bun will get taken down, but just Zorn gets one of their own. And now Rex and Zorn playing together. Billy Ray gets taken down, a 2 versus 2.
Oh!
Goes into Cheesy, able to find kills. Now it's all down to Rex in a 1 versus 2. They're not going to make it. Norris comes out huge. The droning, the time, and the focus. That was the round we needed to see from Tribal. 5 rounds.
May have been 5 rounds too late, but it's finally happened. They have a round on the board. They have some sort of buffer when it goes into this defensive half. Now, I think all credit for that needs to go to Ghosted. It was his drones, his utility, and, point frankly, his kills that have enabled Tribal to get into this game now. For the Tide of Dragons, stings a little bit, but again, they're 4 rounds up. They can now do what they want on this attack without having to worry much about if they're going to throw away a lead. So for them, time to get experimental. Do something that's outside the box.
Yeah, they only need 1 round to hit that match point side, and I think the most important thing for Tribal to kind of be able to put away from their mind is that this is a best of 1. There is no second map, there is no decider, it's not even a Swiss with 2 maps. This is just a best of 1 game. They have to make the most of it, because that round impact as well, that round difference is so important. The best they can do is going to help them the further they go. If they can find at least another couple of rounds, bring it. If they can push it to overtime and they still lose, that's a huge victory for them, I find, because they minimize that round loss difference. But they're not there yet. They still have that opportunity to get a regulation win as well. Going on to the defense, it's really going to need a massive change in the play from what we saw towards the start of their attack. But I feel like Chalet on a defensive side, you're feeling a lot better than going into the attack, especially after a round like that, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. The one big positive for Tribal going into this defense, they can't get spawn peaked. They can't lose 2 players within the first 30 seconds because they didn't drone it properly. So again, they're now going to be on a lot more even playing field, especially when it comes to man count. However, I don't think Dragons are going to care for that, because you look at their site setup. Sorry, not their site setup, their operator lineup. Amaru, Ash, Finker, Blitz, IQ. This is a very rush-heavy and frag-heavy setup. I don't expect to see that Amaru come out. There you go. Immediately switched out for the Buck, considering it's basement. But again,
yeah,
still bringing that line. The line now switched in. Blitz, Finker, Ash. They're not looking to play this slowly. They're not looking to sit around here for another couple rounds, you know, just doing absolutely nothing. No, they're looking to end this now. They're not happy that they lost the round.
If I'm on the side of Tribal here, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, guys, look, we know how they play on defense. They're only going to ramp that up on the attack, as you can see already right out the gate. Maybe a Thorn, maybe a Legion, maybe a Malusi slow things down. But that's going to have to wait for next round, because at the moment it looks like we're going to get a Con 6 ready. We're going to have that Blitz ready to just push through. And they're going to just run straight into that wide side, not realizing A is completely clear. The Blitz pushing the blue, spots the Frost, able to take them down. And the player, Cheesy, has to go in, has to be fast to get back on the side. That plant is going down right now. And as Vex is able to find Ghosted, able to find another on Tanawi. They're just screaming for the match point. They feel like they can taste it, and they want it. Bezorak is taken down. Cheesy has an answer of their own. And in a 2 versus 1 in terms of score, not in terms of health, because look at how low Vex is. This is still tough, but you know that plant's gone down. You know SEA Dragons, they don't want to play on time. They want to get this win. They want to get that match point. And now that push comes through. The frag grenade follows. They know the operator's going to follow. The prone player will be able to get the kill. Billy Ray goes down. Can he get Vex as well? No! A huge round for the Dragons. A fast one and an uncompromising one will get them that match point and put them 1 round away from victory.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant round out of Vex there. I think those 2 frags he found inside the site, absolutely crucial with Ghosted, who, again, did all his best. However, hits the shots, but exactly where they need to be, secures Dragons that 6th and most crucial round. And now, again, for the side of Tribal, what do you do here? How can you come back from that? Because that's not a round you can look in. You can never look into rushes that much. It's always going to be very difficult to look into rushes, because it's never a true idea of what the other team is going to do.
Exactly. They didn't get a good idea of how the Dragons would attack that round in a strategic fashion. I mean, all they have to go off so far on the attack and how they play is that rush. That's the only information they've got into the playstyle. And you can see that's already changed up that lineup. There's the Aruni and the Denari, these 2 laser operators. They're trying to slow things down, at least do that passive damage the same way a Thorn or a Capcan would. That's what they really want to do as they go to this top floor site. Heading down below, I feel like they've done the right thing going above, because if they head down below, they risk making similar mistakes. They risk leaving that entire wine side unchecked, and that could just give Dragons that easy entry back to the site. At least going above, they have that kind of control. They know that this person they just can't sprint straight in. One operator though, YM, will be able to just go straight in, and I feel like this isn't going to be swapped off, especially now that they know the site. They're going to bring that ammo, and I feel like they're going to be kitchen up the hat, most likely.
I'm pretty sure this Amber is just going to, straight send into solo. Actually, again, I know Zorn.
You reckon so?
I think this is going to be straight into solo with this Amaru.
Oh, the shotgun! That might even be in through main window, but we're going to find out one way, and that's by watching.
There you go. He's looking at it. He knows. I think he's been counted, actually. He has been counted by the guy who's been placed on his windows. Tribal have actually read it into this perfectly well. Fair enough to them. Ghosted, again, reading into that fantastically. And, as you said, going into trophy, going into West Main. What is he doing, though? Clearing up below. Do they have any info? There's no one down here. I think they are just clearing.
They're not even putting the flank cam down, just in case. They're getting the players on the windows. They're applying the pressure, but a much more markedly slow game here for Dragons. Just Zorn has realized maybe going in fast at the moment isn't really going to work. We'll just slow things down. We'll wait till the rest of the team are in position. And with Billy Ray able to find that kill and another player in solo, you realize that they're maybe in that spot. The shield angles there not really working out in favor of the attackers.
There he has.
He's got a patch, yeah. And that player in closet's just been cut off. They can't rotate out. They don't have that option. And while, Billy Ray may not be able to find that kill, but Berzak will find theirs. Takes down that dash. Billy Ray happens with the road. The wall bank will come through. It opens up the site. They could go for the plant now. But now they need to be aware of that rotate. Billy Ray gets taken down. Evens us with 2 versus 2 as Zorn finds Ghosted as well. Takes away that top frag. But with Berzak on the Raruni, the DMR, it's doing the damage. It's doing the work. Able to find those kills. Zorn will finally be able to take it down. And now Zorn and Cheesy. Cheesy will spot the Amaru running around. Just Zorn will finally get that kill. They want to get another one in the round, and they're going to go for it. The SMG-11, it finds it. And that's going to be a round and the game for the SEA Dragons. They didn't go for that rush that we expected, but still a fast, coordinated push when they did go for the execute. I mean, and will find them the victory.
I mean, what can you say? Zorn, that's just funny. That's just funny from Zorn. I think he knows himself. He knows himself that he's going to win that. That's confidence. That's straight confidence and straight aura from Zorn. I rate that very highly from him.
It's got to be done, and just killing the I think it's Cheesy. It's just jokes. But yeah, like you say, Dragons, they felt confident. They knew that they were on match point. They knew that they had 5 rounds to work with. Realistically, they just had to win 1, and then they'd be fine. But very aggressive, very commanding presence in that game in the lobby. Tribal, they took their time to open up. I feel like that was the big thing, was they took their time to really start to find any work. They didn't find anything that worked for them. But by that point, it was a bit too late. Dragons had a bit too much to work. It got a bit too far away from them. I don't know. I liked some of the things Tribal did, but it just wasn't close. It just wasn't close enough, really.
No, I don't think it was. I think, again, those rounds where they just got completely flawless when, they weren't even able to get into the building, I think they're the ones that cost them. They're probably the rounds that have mentally the most impact on you. Again, dust yourself off. Look back at it.
It's just one game. It's the best of one at the end of the day. So when it comes to next week, they could play another game. They could have a really good game, and they really could show up. But I feel like if they can find themselves a little bit warmer when they're going into the games, they can find themselves in a really good spot, because we saw Ghosted putting up a 12-7, out-fragging all of the actual Dragons players. But it was a little bit left out. It was left down to Ghosted a little bit too much, I feel, during that game. So if they can find that other impacted player that can really step up frag-wise, they really have that opportunity. And I think just little things like just kind of getting into scrims, doing maybe a 6-6 and just saying, right, we're going on the attack side and we're focusing on how we're going to deal with these things. How do we shut down an aggressive attacking lineup? Our coordination, our cut, just countering spawn peaks. They They just practice that, and they can really find themselves in a much better spot when it comes to the next season or the next game.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. But again, that's next week. We've still got a game this week, don't we? We've still got a very exciting game this week.
Yeah, it's the kind of the build-up that you've been looking for, isn't it? We do have our next game. That is going to be the Goats going up against Pit Ponies. Like you say, Ponies, they won last season. They qualified playoffs by only 2 rounds. So that's going to be a very close game, a very exciting one that we're looking for. We are going to take a short break before we do find ourselves going towards it, however. So if you just want to get a drink, have a little bit of a rest, get ready because we are not done just yet. welcome back, everybody. We have our second game of the evening coming up. We got some new faces, some old faces coming into this lobby, but most importantly, Wyatt, we've got a bit of a grudge match coming to ourselves. We have the Pit Ponies going up against the Goats.
Absolutely, these two teams have a very long and very recent history. Season 8, in the final of the R6, the R6 tournament, it was the Goats. They beat the Ponies to take their first title in Well. Last season, Season 9, these two teams met for a rematch in the semi-finals. Unfortunately, not the finals, but in the semi-finals. And that time, it was Pit Ponies who took it 2-0 over the Goats and then ended up going on to win. So now, they've met in their third stage of competition, in the group stage. This, again, will probably only decide seeding, if we're entirely honest. They're very favourites, they're very good teams. So we'll go into this now, go into this game. This is a very high stakes game. Neither of these teams are going to want to lose. This is the rivalry you want to be watching out for today.
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely the pride kind of aspect to it. Is these two teams have gone up against each other a couple of times. They're going upwards again, and they're going to want to really put their best foot forward. I know, like you said, the Goats, when we were talking in the interlude, the Goats, they've got a couple of new faces to themselves, whereas the Pit Ponies seem to have kept a couple more people around just to make sure that they're carrying on that experience. They can keep building on their role. So going to have that. Are they making the right changes? Maybe missing a step by some of these pickups? There's only one way to find out, and that is going to be by watching this game. Where we're going to be watching this game, though, we've got our maps. A very exciting clubhouse coming up for you guys today. It's not another chalet, which is what we were kind of dreading a little bit, because we just like something different. Something else, something new. So we've gone to the other T3, T4 kind of cookie cutter map. Yeah. We've gone to Clubhouse, one that's pretty filled out by a lot of teams. And if you're trying to just go simple start to a season, I think that's definitely the way to go.
Absolutely. I mean, Clubhouse doesn't change. Club rarely, just doesn't change. It's the exact same thing day in, day out. So that's why I'm also excited to see, because we've got such quality on these two teams. Manny, Tier 1 coach, Meep as well in Pit Ponies. He's also been in and around Tier 2. On the side of Goats, you've got former Well winners in Swarvy, who was formerly your Ponies, mind you, during that Season 8 in his win. So he's won with Pit Ponies, gone to Goats, lost against Pit Ponies, and now he's back here again looking for some sort of revenge. Yeah,
and I think it's quite justified as well. I'm really excited because I feel like I feel like Clubhouse is definitely a map where teams can very much I don't want to say let down their guard, but I think the mental state of it's a comfort pick of a map. It's got a fallen out of favor recently. Maps such as Chalet, such as kind of your Kav Dostoevsky's, which always kind of stuck around as well. But Clubhouse is a map that you know what you're doing, you know exactly what the other team are most likely going to be doing. It's very much a figured out map. There's not much it's really going to shock yourselves. I mean, we're long past the days of Rome, brand new thing. I don't expect to see anything too crazy coming out from either team, aside from possibly mechanics. It's how you can see them be pretty standard, but if that is going to be the case, we're going to find out as we do find ourselves going into game 2 of 2 this evening. Like you say, the Pit Ponies are going up against the Goats. The operator bands I expect to see kind of similar with the hard breach and utility operators again.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be pretty default. The only other thing, again, get rid of those shields. That's only, I mean, in 2026 Siege, that's really your only two options when it comes to bans, unless you have some info on a target ban. It's either breaches, shields, or on these defensive side, people like the Mirror, like the Azami, or maybe some sort of breach snarl like Cade.
I feel like they're taking the Mirror off the board immediately. It takes away the effectiveness of that gym bedroom, that CCTV, and that basement site. It's a pretty good all-round ban, same as Azami. That soft breach utility that gets deployed midway through a round really can just slow everything down for an attacking side. So I'm really not surprised to see that one kind of being taken off the board. The Thermite will follow, leaving only Habana Maverick and whatever hard breach gadgets you want to take in your pocket, which is why we're probably going to see quite a bit of Striker here. Gym bedroom's going to be our first site, and this is the kind of default one a lot of teams would go to. CCTV, since the 20-second meta, it's not the go-to site. You want your gym bedroom. It gives you those rotates. It's got a lot of pressure into towards that Logi over the one side. Those are your high powers, if you want to call them that. How teams deal with it, that's what's exciting to me. Are we going to see a very aggressive push onto site from the Windows breach and Logi, or are we going to see that roam clear, take their time, and just being careful with everything? Is that going to be the way that they want to take this?
I mean, it seems like Goat's probably going to want to go for more the roam clear, take this garage, take this CC, take cash, take con, make sure that you're cutting off as many avenues of fullback and and peeling back these layers of this Pit Ponies defense. Pit Ponies, on the side of them, I'm very excited to watch, is Joe. I know what he can do, I've seen, and again, right, what is it with these spawn peak today, lads? Everyone's spawn peaking. This one won't go anywhere though. So it's not able to find anything, although Geology will get tagged by a boss G of Joe. Almost again. Stay greedy. They're just rampant.
Yeah,
who knows what people have been eating.
It's this thing, I've got to be honest. But yeah, like you say, Geology taking a lot of damage, but not enough to knock them out of that fight. That half-reach utility stays there, and they still have that Habana on the board as well. Movemo will find Crazy Welsh though. That Grim will be taken away. The execution operator there will be moved off for the utility they brought to the field, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a bit more hard breach gadgets, which realistically you can't really get too many of. Me playing the breach, still playing the CC, will be able to find another kill. Yogi, however, gets that refrag, knows that another player's in that CCTV. The problem is, on bedroom side, that CCTV isn't in their control. They're really going to struggle to take this site. And in doing so, that means that highway position, it's just not playable. Look, they know that player's there. There's a player holding red. And with Dro able to find that kill, taking Yogi, that highway pressure just does not apply anymore. The attackers, they have to do something new, and it probably is going to be towards that Logi side. They need to get that pressure in Con Logi. They can't afford to go in through those windows. There's only 2 attackers. They barely hold the player on HP.
I don't think, to be honest, Geology is, you can kill him with a sneeze.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing him with a sneeze. He's going to be watching for Joe on this highway peak out. Not going to find anything. Again, Pit Ponies being very aggressive. They know exactly what they need to get aggressive, shut down early, and just not let Goats get into this game. And it seems like the side of Goats, they also know this. They're talking over it now. You can see they've fallen back. Use this time as an effective timeout. When we died too early, because again, same case as it was in the lovely little run out from the Solus, but again, same case as it was in a tribal game. They're not even getting into the building. They're being shut down at the first point of attack. How do you counter do? I think the Blackbeard from Yogi, I think that's a good, good start, good pick. However, it's now got a fool on the rest of the Goats. What are they going to do? Geology. He is a very big brain in this game. He led the Goats to Season 8 champions. That's not something you can really, overstate and overlook. If anyone knows what he's going to do, it's going to be him. So I wonder what he's saying to his boys now.
Probably check out this frag as they drop down, find the Solace, take them off the board. That shotgun as well, but with 8 seconds left, they're just not going to have anything to do. They don't have a case. They're not going to win that to the 2 gunfights and get the plant down. It's not happening. They might be able to win one, but it's just not going to happen. Pit Ponies will take that first round. And like you say, Uwayan, they're just going to talk. They're going to think about what happened. Only in that last 40 seconds did we really see him go, really making use of that time by waiting to go for that execute and try and make something happen. I feel like that was, it was just really well done from the Pit Ponies. They want to slow things down. They want to stop them getting that aggression. And I feel like this is where the hard breach ban really shows why it's so important. Because if it was an ace or a thermite on the board, that breach gets open. It's very easy for the attackers to get in. With it being a vault, it's so much more threatening. It's so much more intimidating as an attacker. No less a Blackbeard of all players, because he knows they have to drop their shield to get in. It just gave Pit Ponies that power of control, that power of that area, that they just felt comfortable the entire time. A couple of kills, a lot of damage from the start, and it's going to be a round in their favour, like you say. going down to below now. That Habana has to come along, and I probably wouldn't be surprised to see somebody else that can bring something in terms of hard breach, but looks like it'll just be the Habana for now. They need it for those hatches. They need it if they're just going to get, say, kitchen hatch, and then go all the way to, you know, main wall. They still need that hard breach just to contest. There's no more to deal with, but they still have a lot to deal with. First thing they have at the moment, though, is the Solace and the Scopers. They're going to be on the road. And Buemo going to be looking for this early kill, going to be looking for this run out alongside Dwo with that Boss G again. Not going to be able to find their mark as nobody has actually spawned over there. Meep, though, finds theirs. We'll be able to get a player in favor of Pit Ponies, and in doing so, the attackers are that player now. Frizz also going to get taken down on the DMR from me.
Well, they're immediately 2 down.
Immediately 2 down.
Don't know what Meep's doing there as well. That's surely a free kill onto him, but you know what? It doesn't matter if you decide to goats. You know, kind of thanking your stars that you haven't just gone 3 down within first 40. To be honest, they now have to find some stable footing.
Yeah,
that'll help. Good shot from Yogi.
Yogi and Siegeology, each able to find a kill, will do their work to try and get the back there, but Highland able to find Yogi with that Valkyrie will make it work. Finds another, though, Siegeology to drop. And now Crazy Welsh, 2 minutes. He's kind of sat here thinking, oh, what do we do now? We've got 2 players over towards that lounge side that can take that gunfight. Doesn't know where the Valkyrie was. Gets picked down, and again, before they get in the building. I feel like, yeah, those two first kills, honestly, just ended the round. Kind of from the start, though, the Maverick and Nomad got taken down. The Nomad, the operator, to really make roamers think twice, make these defenders question whether it's worth going for that peak, whether they should be going. And then, I mean, we talked about how important it was to have those hard breaches. You need that Habana, you need a little bit more hard breach potential, and immediately then we see the Maverick get taken down. I mean, that round very much, I'm going to say the word neutered very quickly for the side of the GOATs. Again, though, they have an opportunity, and that opportunity is in core bar games. I know, Ryan, that you do quite a lot of research. You look into these teams. Do you feel like this is something Pit Ponies were expected to do regardless of the scoreline, or do you feel like this is just where they want to just kind of show that they can win there, you know?
Honestly, I think this is something that they're going to do. It's always going to be a tertiary site. You know, obviously on a map like Club, gym and basement, absolute solid. You're always going to go to them. So it always depends on the team as to whether they try it with CC. All I want to try, obviously, is a lot more favoured from a lot of teams to go to CC side. Yeah. But with some recent changes to trap operators and some recent meta shifts, Bar has come back into the meta. Obviously, it was popularised by SSG during 2020. Fell out of favour. Seems like it's coming back now. However, it's not going to matter if Pit Ponies can just, again, shut them down before they get to the building. So, for the side of GOATs, take it slower. Like I said with Tribal, drone it out.
That's the thing I'm looking for as well. The jump out does come, but doesn't find its mark. Dro just not aiming at the right spot for Siegeology there. Will do a lot of damage to that round, but most importantly, GOATs get that opening pick. Thing is with this site is I feel like the comfort of CC does kind of do it. Doesn't do it justice necessarily, because teams will go there. They might not be prepared. It's a little bit too comfortable for an attacking side. So GOATs, they're going to go for this, something they don't know. Meep will find Siegeology, finish the work that Dro did, but Highland and Form are both going down. And suddenly Meep looking a little uncomfortable here, not really knowing where they should be going, what they should be doing. And then they're both in the same case, trying to get this res. Meep will find Yogi and keeps a set of 3 versus 3. But look at the damage! That's 1 HP if I ever saw it. So now Ant will get that control towards that garage side. Will be able to go above if they so desire, but they are playing alone and they are droned. The smoke will be able to find Frizz. And now walking down, looking towards Oil. Not going to be able to spot Meep with the DMR. Yes, Meep is such low HP, but with that DMR, especially now they've already tagged, it might not even be needed. Players over towards Red. They spot that player. They're looking for that kill. There's no nades in pocket, only the EMP, and that's hard breach gadgets. They need to take the gunfight. They know that this is something they have to do. Every second, every minute they spend above is time that's wasted. C4's ring out. Feels like the floor's just going to explode underneath Ant there, as Crazy Welsh has to time this execute perfectly. Ant thinks there's still a player above. They need to go for that clay. They need to get that construction hatch. So that means that Crazy can start to push in. But alone, oh, that might be a little risky. That might not just be what the doctor ordered. As the side of Pit Ponies, they're able to pull things back. Yellow ping comes out. Crazy Welsh doesn't want that wall bang, but they're going to look for the kill. Doesn't find Highland. Takes a little bit of damage. But with the amount of HP on the side of the attackers, any damage at all is a little bit too much. I guess 30 seconds ticks down. Crazy Welsh has to look at this look at it jump into this master bedroom, but they need to be heading down below. If they jump in, there's so much verticality. If they jump in, they have to force themselves down either a hatch or those main stairs. 19 seconds left. The Jmot mines from Ella are going off, and suddenly it feels like this run is over already. It's even done. The Pit Pony's just sitting confident. The shotgun from Mbuemo comes out. As Crazy Welsh goes down, Ant has no choice but to go for the execute. Down the main stairs. Will look to get Meep. Will be able to find it, but with no seconds on the clock, will not get a plant down. That will be a successful bar games, but I mean, Goats, that looked pretty good.
I mean, yeah, early round and mid round looked very good. Getting a man advantage multiple times, but again, now you look at that as that's a round Goats really should have won. They had very heavy health advantage, whether they knew it or not. They had multiple times with man advantage, but again, they're just not taking that opportunity. They're not landing the shots. Geology got very lucky with Joe missing his bullets early on, got that opening pick. Yes, he immediately got traded out, but at that point, you're in a 4v4. You've got the vert, you can start working the site. But it just doesn't come through. It just doesn't come through for Goats is all. But again, they're now getting into it. That's a very, very good round from them. They take that into the next one.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one thing that you need to keep in mind at any point, really, especially when you're starting to struggle, is just keep it going. Just remember that you're doing well, you're doing good for yourself. I feel like that's something that the mental is just as important as the ability, and that's something that we're definitely going to see here as well. Now we are going to find ourselves going to CCTV. Pit Ponies looking to reset themselves after this round, get a 4th round on the board, then they go back to that last rotation. They know what they're going to do, they know how they're going to play it. And Goats, they're just going to swap things up. Still bringing the shield. They were looking for that Monty and Blackbeard duo, but looking at the site, you've decided to kind of change it. Get the Blackbeard, but get the Sentry so you can get a breach open. This is kind of where the hard breach, because Habana's been taken away, they're stuck with the hard breach gadgets. So they need that Sentry. That has to be there no matter what, or at least somebody with the hard breach gadgets, which I think Grim and Capital are both bringing as well. This stops the Clash from playing so aggressively on that breach, but right now when you're playing aggressively towards Garage, you're looking just for an opening pick, maybe get a spawn pick, maybe get 2 players. At the moment it's not going to be anything, but it's the intent. They're playing aggressively, and the Goats know that. The pressure will already start to be applied. Crazy Welsh takes a lot of damage there, actually, as that garage side's open. Why aren't they peeking that? Well, very simple. There's a player up above on the rafters. Drogue will take a bit of damage. They don't have to over-peek it, but Geology decides not to go for it anyway. That Clash still over towards the garage side. Will start to pull back. We'll just play it safe. They've done damage. They don't need to get aggressive. They're going to leave that to the Castle, who's definitely got that lounge set up in place. And a minute's gone already. It feels like it's gone very quickly, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Welsh will go down here. That's a perfect opening frag for the side of Pit Ponies, taking down that flank bid. Now, this entire garage push comes into question. And this is, again, this is something that they need to get. You cannot really attack CC without having this garage pressure. As, wait a minute. No way he gets this. Oh my. Yogi will go down to a Clash run out. He will lose the shield, but you feel like it's just, it doesn't matter at that point. You're taking down the Capital.
Capital with the hard breach gadget.
Capital with the hard breach gadget, yeah, as well, but that breach is already open. And you can break them back and forth, see George get one, but Valk will trade him out. Meep will take down Fritz, and again, Goats 41. And you feel like he can't, you know, go back and just talk now. You have to go for it. You have to try and get some of these rounds going, because you're going to go 4 down otherwise. And again, it may be default, but it's not going to be good enough to hit own.
My problem here is that there's a Valkyrie on the board. There's info being given. There's intel. You can see it. There is a camera inside that construction area. And you just know it because look at these pre-fires coming out. Look at these wallbangs being attempted. As the shot will come out, the Clash will be able to find that kill. And like you say, another round for Pit Ponies. And it feels like getting that 4-2 split might not be good enough. Because what site are we going to be heading to next? That's going to be the Church and Arsenal. We're either going to go to Church Arsenal or we're going to be going to Gym Bedroom. No matter what happens here for Goats, they're staring down the barrel, I feel like. CC was definitely the one that they needed to get on the board, get that momentum shift, get that mentality back. Yes, they're going to be going on to a defensive side afterwards, but they can't be going in on a 5-1 scoreline. I do not see them really bringing it back that much if they can do that. Pit Ponies, obviously, they want to make that the case. They want to make sure that there's no chance of any recovery for the Goats, which means I think we're just going to see them just ramp up the aggression in the next few rounds.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you go into a defense split, 5-1 down. At that point, Pit Ponies already know they've got you beat. You have to get these final 2 rounds now, otherwise this game might as well be signed, sealed and delivered on the side of Goats. And again, it's not like they're playing bad, okay? It's not like they're doing anything inherently wrong. It's just Pit Ponies are reading into them, playing really aggressive, and I think the most important thing is they're playing without care. They're playing loose. They know they can win this regardless of if they play very highly strategized or if they just come in here and just decide, you know what, lads, bring the Clash out, let's just swing, let's just have fun. And I think Goats at the moment just have no answer for it. They don't know what to do, they don't know how to counter it, and today is showing in the scoreline.
I feel like as well, when they came to the last round there, they brought so much secondary hard breach utility that it did have me questioning, and you don't tend to see that much. I mean, teams tend to bring claymores, nades, flashes, just something different. It's a CCTV site that we were just on. I'm just going to talk about that last round for a minute. That's the round that I feel like they didn't really know what they were going to do. They were kind of panicking a little bit with their loadouts because nobody really brings that much hard breach. They might have had a strat in mind, but when you think about how the defenders set that up, how the Ponies were playing it, they got the garage, they got the breach, they could do those 2 things. They could definitely still go to con, but then they still had at least 2 hard breaches in pocket, provided they all stay alive. I feel like that's a little... They could have brought something nice. They could have brought claymores. I mean, we saw so much aggression. It really wouldn't be that bad of an idea, in my opinion. Or at least like flashbangs or something. Maybe an DMP help you deal with that clash. I think Goats need to make the most out of this time and just say, right, how do we change this? How do we stop them from feeling confident, from feeling like they're going to win these gunfights, knowing that they're going to? Because that's such an important thing in a gunfight, is knowing that you have the ability to win it and you're most likely going to win it. What we are going to do though is we are going to be taking a short break because we are having a little bit of an issue trying to get ourselves back in. So we're going to take a break, hopefully get all of our attention focused on sorting this out and be with you as soon as we can. All right, don't go anywhere. back. We're going to be jumping back into this game. We had to have a little bit of a break, but we are going back into it. And for those who might just be joining us, the Pit Ponies, very strong start. The Goats, however, they've really been trying to kind of chase their tail, trying to find their momentum into this game. I believe it's 4 rounds now that they've not been able to pick up, so they are scrambling for those last 2. But the pace that Pit Ponies have set, Ryan, is it something they can catch up to with given the help of that side switch?
I think unless they get these last 2 rounds, as I said before, they have to get these last 2 rounds. If they don't, I don't think any side switch on any map could help them at all, unless Pit Ponies start throwing. Unless Pit Ponies have some unbelievable flaw on their attack, then I think this game is going to be said and done. So for the side of the Goats, I want to see something different. 4 rounds in now, you're trying pretty much the exact same thing, taking it too slow, giving them too many opportunities to, come at you and come get these frags. And while, yeah, on a couple of rounds, you've been able to refrag, been able to put yourself in sometimes a man-advantage position, you're still too slow, you're giving them too much respect, too much space. It's almost like they're scared of them.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a big concern for me, is that we're seeing the Pit Ponies so up in your face, so outside the site, outside the building sometimes, that I feel like they're getting in their head. The Pit Ponies, they're confident, they're making a statement about how they play, and now on the defense, the Pit Ponies have no hard breach to deal with. We spoke about it before. The Goats, they are limited to either that Maverick or that hard breach gadget. They are bringing quite a bit of soft destruction. I think they realize, okay, well, they're going to go to a vertical site. We're going to be finding ourselves going back to gym bedroom. I believe the last round we saw, which was a basement, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't really get in the building at all. So going on to this top floor site, this gym bedroom, we're having that rotation. And then where did they go after? They go back to bar games, which again, they were able to, while it was a bit closer, the Pit Ponies were still able to win it out thanks to time. On paper, the Pit Ponies take this. The Goats, like you say, they need to change it up. They need to find a different style. And they need to be able to have an answer for this early aggression that Pit Ponies have. They're letting them dictate how the pace of the game is set. And they just can't allow that as an attacking team.
No, absolutely not. You have to take this map control and you have to set the pace of this game. Because again, you give too much freedom to these defenders. We saw it in the last game, sitting in this one. They're just going to play with you. They're just going to keep peeking you, keep spawn peeking, keep putting pressure on you in this way. Although this is a very nice drone. Good, decent early info there. Not been spotted as well. They can play off this. This is one of the opportunities they need. They need to take this now. It's a free frag for them to take.
Yeah, one good guilty. And they'll be able to take advantage of it. Maybe a little bit of fire a little too early, because that Mozzie was playing it pro and they were playing safe in that R3 area, that little corner. Maybe having a player over towards that CC wall, or at least the radio window, would have helped. But at least they've put that pressure on. Mabaro knows that they're in a situation that they need to find their way out of, because they can't afford not to. They're going to stay there, actually, with that gun. And there's not really much cut off coming out from the Goats. They have to play towards the garage slide. That's good. But if a Biomo decides to drop, then suddenly they've lost that pressure. That's the roam site. And again, there's another player towards CCTV. Meep over towards Logido will be keeping control of this hatch. You kind of, on the defensive side, you have to they can't afford to go into gunfights without one. And the arena is such a heavy hitter that Logi position is perfect for them. They have the long range of that con side. They have the long range over towards that master gym side. It's just a position for that DMR to be in. The Renegades, they're going to help us slowing down the attackers. I mean, the Pit Ponies haven't committed to that too much. Their gunfight's done good enough. But the Renegades combined with this swing coming out from Meep on radio window, that might just be it. Not going for that gunfight just yet. A lot of utilities going to get put over towards Master, and the jump out will come through from CGology, looking to push in. Young Yogi will find Highland, the rotate comes through, and Buemo gets taken down as well. CGology doesn't know about the Scopus drone in that bathroom. The perfectly timed rotate might just end this off from Dro. Ford Star down below, shooting up the hatch. How are they allowing them to get away with this? Will find a kill, takes away the attacker from the Goat's side. And now, you know this plays towards Logi, going for a flash. We think it's main stairs, they don't know. Running towards Logi, running towards main, and Meep just has to waste time. 44 seconds left. They know this player is going to be there. The shot comes out. The Valkyrie camera's no doubt feeding information. Siegeology's taken down. The case does go down as well, as does Crazy Welsh. But so does Fawn Style, so does Ant. And now 1 versus 2. The attackers, they're in a horrible situation because Fritz has to get there. They have to get that cover. They're only going to get it from these windows. And the defenders know exactly that. Waiting there. Look at that gunfire. They could just get this defuse off. They know that Fritz has to go for this, and while Duo is on such low HP, it's enough just to deter them. While Meep is going for that defuse, they're gonna get it, and that's another round in Pip Pony's favor. But the Goats, they had it all. Where did it go?
Honestly, so much better from the Goats. All credit due. Geology, very heads up where the gap is, spotted it and took it perfectly. It all fell apart during that execute and that post plant though. They couldn't find the other frags, and then when it came down to it, they got rushed into a very uncomfortable plant position and a very uncomfortable position to be in. In general, people weren't playing off each other, and in the end, you saw in that 2v1, who was it? It was Ant. He had to go up from Jacuzzi wall to rotate around because diffuser was planted as far away from as could possibly be.
Protect your bombs from being
So
defused
again,
by attackers.
with the Goats, it's all about these finer details that are tripling them up right now.
Yeah. Speaking of minor details, I've got a pretty big one going on to this site. The bar gaming, the time. They got the vertical control. They had more kills than they really needed at that point to go for an execute. But it just wasn't there for them. They were able to... They still lost it on the time. They really felt disjointed on this attack. I don't know how the Goats can approach this site and approach this attack based off the last couple of rounds we've seen in a way that's really going to change things up. That's going to find them that win. They can look to go for a push towards stock, but that opens them to the third. They can look towards kitchen, but then that opens them to the kitchen walls, kitchen windows, and most importantly the spawn peak as well. So let's see if they're able to find one. A player has spawned over there, but I think unlike Tribal, they've actually decided to be a little bit more careful, be a little bit more safe. Island will find Yogi though, and Siegeology will take a lot of damage, so maybe that's just the caster curse coming through. The refrag is there, but look at the HP trade. That is massive, because not only that, has Meep got Ant as well. Now 3 versus 4.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? Exact same things we've been seeing from most rounds during this. And again, they may get the trade back, but Siegeology on such low HP is practically a 4v2.
The thing is for me, is I'm looking at this scoreline. We said a 5-1 scoreline, it might not even be doable for them. And that's what they're hoping for at this point. They need to make sure that when they go into the defense, they have at least 1 round to lose. Because by Jove, they are going to need it. Dro with that boss G from the hatch, though. Will find the head of Siegeology once the shield drops. And that is going to be what seems like the round just shut down. Crazy Welsh and Frizz still alive, but very much shut down here. Meep does get taken away, and the refrag is there. But 3 versus 2. They're boxed into these situations, and with the C4 going out, the info is there. It's even harder to go for the swing. Highland finding Crazy Welsh, looking to get that match point. He's gonna be able to find it. The second shot with the MPX, and it just feels like Pit Ponies. They're putting Goats in the dirt.
This game is as close to turn as you can get. I'm not going to count Goats out yet. Weirder things have happened. You can never predict it fully. However, with the way Pit Ponies have been playing, the confidence they have, and surely the mental strain on Goats now, knowing that you don't have any room to spare. Zero mistakes can be made from them now. It's a big mental pressure, especially for a brand new team, essentially. You know, we've got some rookies in here who have never played a game of WoW before. They may have done it in ranked, but doing it in comp is a completely different thing, especially against as formidable as an opponent as Pit Ponies are. So if you're Goats now, the only thing you can really do is just caring. Do the opposite. Have fun, go swing. Because, you know, if you leave, you know, you lose. Is what it is.
Exactly. And I feel like this is where they really have the opportunity to make the most of it. I think the big thing in their mind that they're going to be relying on, kind of as a mental crutch, for example, is going to be it is 9 times out of 10 a defender-sided map. It is kind of favored towards defense. They've got that mirror, they've got the Azami on the board, and they've got the castle as well. This is to just slow down Pit Ponies. They know Pit Ponies are going to be aggressive. You can see there's a Kali there. Open up that utility quick and fast. They've got a Maverick as well to do the same. And the Blitz just to really just take control, really capitalize on those spaces they get given, and minimize the time that they waste taking control of it. That's what this lineup is screaming out to me here. And then the Twitch just to deal with any utility, any little thorn traps, any Legion goo mines, anything like that, and especially these mirror windows as well. Goats, they need a big shift here. If they can make it happen, like you say, it's going to be down to them relaxing and enjoying the game that they play. Whereas Pit Ponies, they're just going to go in, try and close it down, and see at least a 7-0 if they're able to make it happen. Again, you still side of Goats, they want to just get this utility, they want to make sure they do it properly, but by this point they already know Blitz is going to radio side. On that melee hole, they have an eye to see if someone's trying to peek it. It's actually quite a nice one, because it's quite safe to do with the shield. There's not really much pressure of any cross. C4 goes out, there's a lot of damage, but Ford's going to stay alive. The shotgun adds a bit more. It doesn't find its mark. The SMG-11 will fall out, but look at that wall towards the red. That wall of red. Off CGLG just missing the head there of Highland. He's going to have to back up, and now look at it. And Kali's just taking that control, forcing that Zami to play back. And now, that gas canister being picked off, they have to go to Logi's side if they can. Kali Gadget will blow everything out. The smoke grenade's going to follow as well, gives them at least some chance to run back. But they know they can't, the Goats have to stay in con here. Using the Azami there, trying to block off that Blitz, making sure that they're just anything they can do to slow this attack down. But with that window getting open, Meek misses the shot onto the Azami. Frizz is able to find a kill as a result, but Fall gets taken down as well. And now the Pit Ponies are starting to fall. Dro, in that bathroom side, in that map, without a diffuser, has control of bathroom. That gives them Jim, and with Joe able to find Yogi as well, they could go for scans, they could find these players. But no, when Joe gets taken down, and the refrag on those main stairs, now Meep and Mbueo are alone. Mbueo, though, can find Ant. CGLG has an answer, and Pip and the Goats are looking to get their first kill on the board. The Azami gadgets will fall down. But look at that, Meep has a really good opportunity. They can just open up anything they want. They can pre-fire it all, but CGLG will find that round, find a kill, and give themselves the first round, and a much-needed one, especially where they can have that mental reset.
Step 1 of 6 is done. 5 more to go for the Goats to even push us to overtime. But again, that was a very, very actually convincing reaction defense off of the Goats. So, you know, have this army in con, have CGLG on me playing in cash, and they just reacted to it. I mean, Pit Ponies, the idea wasn't bad and the execution wasn't bad either. But I think CGLG and to a decent extent, and as well, read into the play really well. Frizz also should get a shout out there for his incredible hold playing con. You know, any normal player would have been dead within the first 20 seconds, but no, he plays around his army barricades really well. He knows exactly when to peek, what to do, and he doesn't crumble under the pressure. So I think that round is just a fantastic round for Goats. I think that's a very good positive step in the direction.
I feel like if I was Frizz, and that's pull back way soon.
Absolutely.
They just able to. It was just a combination of Meep missing that one shot that led to a kill going out. It just changed it. Now, though, we are going to be heading to CCTV and Cash. This is a site that I feel like didn't expect to see from the Goats, especially this early. I expected to see them go down below. They don't really have the rounds to be kind of changing things up, trying to, you know, just do something different. They need to just make sure they're locked in. So if this is what they prepared, then that's good. They could get this open and start this push. Deimos not bringing the frag grenades, will be opening that breach as standard, get the 2 rolls on the wall. And now Monty making very quick pressure towards that Raptors side. Frizz knows that this player is there, but there's nothing they can do because it's a distraction. Forno finds the kill, but owns the Highland as well. And now with that, Dro will be able to get that cut off. Takes down Frizz, but CGLG has an answer with Dro. And we're finding ourselves in a 3 versus 4, 2 versus 4, because CGLG gets fought. And Buemo will get the refrag. And Monty doing absolute bits with the pistol there, but is it going to be enough to get 3 more kills? These attackers are split apart. They can go towards the breach and rafters, but at the end of the day, Hey, that's gonna have to push things up. Crazy Welsh gets taken down. A 2 versus 2, and Buemo wants another kill. And they're gonna be going for it over towards that red side. They don't have the util to really push. No smokes, no flashes, just a hard breach gadget, a shield, and a dream. Meep down below with that DMR will be looking to just pick somebody off who's not paying attention, who's not looking. But both the defenders, both the goats are on the site here. They know, they want to be careful, they want to be smart. Yes, and he's towards that console. They can be very fast. Meep has the stairs here because Umbuero with time, half the round left, can start to look at going for a plan. They're going to do exactly that. The push has to come through. Meep will find Anne. The drop will go taken down. Yogi finds Umbuemo, but it's all down to the DMR on Meep. Full HP with young Yogi very, very low. Minute 10 on the clock. Mute Jammer's coming in huge here. But with the DMR, I really don't back Yogi to take this, especially with the UMP. I'm really worried.
I mean, Yogi here, about as much pressure as you can face in any player's career. 1v1, knows he doesn't have the health to do this, so he's got to play around and play smart. Cannot overexpose himself, whereas Meep, he's now got to look to push up, try and find this frag. Just one shot is all it's going to take for Meep to get this. Yogi holding the angle, sees his head there? I don't think he can.
I don't think so, but he does!
Beautiful pre-fire. Absolutely beautiful pre-fire from Yogi. And again, you're breathing a massive sigh of relief if you are the side of goats.
Incredible play. That was a huge round there, Yogi. Could not have played it any better. Like you say, they realized they had to play it smart. They went up, they played it on the cash desk. They knew that player was down below. They didn't want to give away anything possible or peek anything that they shouldn't be. They realized they were too close to that construction away. With that, Meep then realized, okay, well, they're playing in construction. I can push this smart. I win this gunfight. But when the beautiful thing of Siege is when you hit the head, you hit the head. It doesn't matter what weapon you've got. Any other shot killed Yogi there. And I think that just goes to say that that's just the quality of what we're looking for. And we know now that Goats can do it. 2 rounds on the trot to keep themselves in it so far. We're going to find them going down below. So this is something I'm really not worried about. It's the next round. Because I feel like Pit Ponies are going to be a lot more confident when they find themselves attacking Shin Bedroom again.
I mean, yeah. It's a default site, I think. Again, as defender-sided as it is a default site. Whereas looking at this basement now, I would back Goats to take this. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. I am starting to believe a little bit. Now, I'm usually a pessimist when it comes to these things, but I don't know. I'm starting to believe from what I'm seeing from Goats is actually quite positive, and what I'm seeing Pit Ponies in attack is, decently negative as well. Team kill in the last round. Yeah, it's unlucky, but again, I don't know if it makes much a difference, to be honest. I think that player would have been found anyways. So, yeah, I am starting to believe a little bit.
I definitely am as well. Pit Ponies, still no disbelief here. They're going to be going very fast into blue. And that is an ADS going to be catching that Capital thing. Oh, Capital. Oh, but Yogi finds him. Where shuts that down. Again. The TK comes out and will find a kill. Frizz is one of them. But Dro's going massive. They've dropped in. They're able to find 2 kills and even things up just a little bit more. Now Fawnstyle over towards blue with the LMG on Finker. They have the HP regen. But CGology is just going to close it down. What a round there from Goats. I think they're starting to wake things up now.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, the idea from Pit Pony Plastic. I mean, Joe went nuclear. 2 team kills in 2 rounds, lads. Come on, it's getting a little bit messy now. Okay, yeah, you had the 6-round buffer, as much you can get. It's just time to lock in and end this if you're the side of Pit Ponies. Whereas Goats, 3 rounds on the trot. You're starting to believe yourself at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sure the comms are getting more hype. There's going to be more energy in here. So these sets of bans are going to be quite important. The mirror ban from Pit Ponies, I understand it, very default. It hasn't really been utilized by Goats too much or too well. The Monty ban has very much basically almost lost him a CC attack with Imperium an absolutely huge. But again, Goats, I think one more round and you're fully back into it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's going from a 3-point game to a 2-point game, which is, getting the 6-4 scoreline, which works out a lot better. I feel like with the TKs, when the fun stops, stop. You know, okay. You've had your fun. Let's cut it out. Let's pay attention. Pit Pony's aggression just doesn't seem to be working out the same way for them. It doesn't seem like they seem to be running into a wall that keeps getting sturdier and sturdier with every round that we see. Young Yogi definitely did a massive job to keep them in it at that point. But the rest of the team actually stepped up in that one. That was one thing I said with Tribal, Wyatt, is that we saw one player do a lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting frag-wise, but the rest of the team, especially Geology, for example, really have woken up in terms of frags. They're able to back that player up, and as a result, the Goats are looking a lot more formidable. Like you say, the Monty has been banned, but with only 1 ban and 3 shield operators on the board, 4, and if you want to include Fuse, which I personally don't, they can still bring in. The style of how they play is very different. The Blackbeard, the Blitz, has to play aggressively. The Monty can be a little bit more reserved. Right now we see Drub getting very close. Nearly spotting that player. Is going to take them out. And it looks like a little bit of pressure over towards that highway side. The main focus here for Pit Ponies is taking cash. They can't really use this highway position without that cash, that construction area in their control. So Dro's job here, play the windows, play this cross. If they spot that player, they pick it, which they do. Geology's fallen, as Embuemo will as well. And finding Fawn. Well, the attacks start to stall out now, but this cutoff still needs to be there. If Dro dies, the round dies. Crazy Welsh and Young Yogi will be looking for these kills. The UMP looking for the work, but the nade there from Dro will find the pick. A beautiful frag. As Meep gets taken down as well by Ant. And now C4 follows. Highland's gone. The jump goes to they get killed. They drop down below. They know there's a pulse below. They're able to find that kill, getting the quad. They want to get an ace to close it down. They do not have the case. They do not know where this player is, but they have half the round to figure things out and a lot more HP than Ant. They just need to be smart about how they deal with this. They get that diffuser. They can start to go for the push. They have the drone. Let's use that drone. Hopefully these attackers have flying cams in positions that they can cover this. So, right, huge jammers in the way. Let's move. But our players over towards the Logi. They know that now. So, where are they going to be next? They're going to be heading towards bathroom. Jumps in, looks for the kill. Can Dro land it? Not just yet. With the pre-fire, we'll be looking for it. That canister pops, which means the rotate has to come through. Dro knows it. Ant knows it as well. Buying a little bit of time. The way that setup is beautiful because it forces the sledge to go for that soft breach. Looking for the kill. A little bit more damage done. Again, now we're suddenly a lot more even. 40 seconds left. There's a glow canister can really back. So, has to push through. Ant knows that they have a lot of angles to cover. They've got to be prone looking for that kill. But Dro's going to win it out with the ace. Taking that round for the Pit Ponies and the game in a massive fashion. But for the Goats, what an incredible comeback. They really wanted to kick and bite for everything that Pit Ponies got on that attacking side, but they are not going to be able to hold out. Inevitably, Pit Ponies will take that victory.
I mean, yeah. What else can you say? That is just a fantastic round from Joe. I highlighted him at the start of the game. I said he's someone I know, I look forward to watching him. I know what he can do, and he showed it right there, an ace to secure the game for Ponies. And I mean, if you're the side of Goats, feeling a little bit dejected after that one, 3v1 could have pushed it to that fourth, could have easily pushed it straight into overtime. You get that fourth, like we said. You know, you're not too far away from that 6-6, but yeah, just fantastic individual play from Joe, shuts it down. And as well in that last round, he was doing a lot of work, getting a little bit lippy in chat. Saw a little bit back of it. I mean, a little bit embarrassing when you say all that and then you still end up losing. But either way, I still think it was a valiant effort from the Goats. And I think attacking, I think it just wasn't one of those days. I think for both teams, it took an ace from a player. I think it was just one of those days where no one was going to be good at attacking.
Yeah, I think the thing is for both teams that you could see that they both put the other on the back foot on the attack. They both just made them think twice, and that's the important thing. And like, again, yeah, like you say, for the side of the Goats, it was just unlucky that they were on the defense side. They were on the attack side first, which meant they lost those 6 rounds in consecutive motion. But I think that 7-3 scoreline isn't as fair as it possibly could have been. If we saw a couple more rounds, we'd get, like, maybe if Joe got taken down a little earlier, then, or there was a little bit more time for Ant, or a little less time for the attackers, that could have been a much higher scoreline we could have possibly seen in overtime. I mean, I will give them credit. I don't think that 7-3 is a fair representation of that, but the numbers don't lie. They may not always tell the full story, but they do not. It is our second game for the evening done, and that is our play date for today. Season, I believe, 10. Season 10 of Welsh Esports League. We have got to this. It's been a long we are kicking things off in first. Very exciting games, YN, and it's going to be me and you bringing the rest of them to your beautiful screens, isn't it?
Yep, I'm looking well forward to it. First season behind the observation desk now. Very happy about it, and we've got some fantastic games to watch. So, yeah, really looking forward to it.
Exactly. Now, I do believe that is ourselves, like I say, done for the day, so we aren't going to waste any more of your time. What I will do is I will say thank you, a massive shout out to Skipverse and Nanas for bringing everything in front of you, making it look as beautiful as it did. Huge shout out to Sledge for kind of doing all the work in the background, adminning, pushing everything involved with Esports Wales. And I do want to highlight, if you're watching at this point, I might want to get involved, whether it be with the Welsh Esports League or some of the more community stuff. The only thing I can say is do it. I've been doing it for a number of years here, through the community stuff, the casting. It's well worth it. If you have an opportunity to do it and you may be thinking about dipping your toes in, try it. You cannot go wrong. Ryan, thank you for joining me tonight, and for yourselves, thank you for watching these games, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Goodbye.